everybody. I'm Lynn.
I'm Wyeth.
And this is the third episode of Evil Dread. We goofed and didn't have one last week because Wyeth is a traveling man.
I've been gone for the past 2 weeks, and we forgot to take that into account.
Yep. So that ruined our entire schedule. No, not really. It'll be fine. But yeah, so we're back now, and we're actually on iTunes now.
I know, we fit it big.
We're a real podcast. We're not on SoundCloud only like, some white rapper who only wears overalls or something.
Is that a shout out to K-Fed?
Absolutely not. I haven't thought about that person in a long time.
Well, now we all have.
Because of you. Oh my god.
On the note of shout outs, we need to give recognition to my friend Aaron Beagle for our sweet new logo.
Yes, it's an amazing logo. I love it so much. They wouldn't let us on iTunes because our logo was ugly, and he helped us.
Because we kept trying to make it in MS Paint. And
also, that was probably the death knell of MS Paint.
Yeah.
They were like, these stupid dummies.
It's coming back.
Because I wrote to Bill.
A lot of people
Mr.
did.
Gates.
There's a MS Paint community. Apparently.
I love I use MS Paint a lot, bro. How else am I to get my screenshots cropped and saved as an image?
I've used it too. My proudest achievement in MS Paint was splicing a picture of Immortan Joe with Donald Trump side by side.
Wow.
The similarities are uncanny. I
can see that. One time I made a Christmas card, and it was me, my two friends, Beetlejuice, RuPaul, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and it says Happy Holidays.
Man, R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
It was pretty soon after his passing, but I wanted to remember him in the holiday season.
That's good.
Was he Jewish? It did say Happy Holidays, so that's
insert
covered.
Holiday of choice.
Yes. So today we are getting back into the grind, and we are doing The Invitation,
which is probably one of my most favorite recent horror movies.
Most favorite.
It's up there.
This is one that we both like.
After the wild splits, the first 2 episodes, I figured we should come together.
Yes.
Right now.
And it was a good choice. We had both seen it before. I had seen it last fall, something like that.
I think I did
last
too.
Fall, when it went on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember it super well. Like, I remembered the main plot, but yeah, I enjoyed it as much, if not more, than the first time I watched it. So yeah, why did you choose that one for this? We alternate each week. I pick one, he picks one. So
we now have a schedule.
Yeah.
Because we're adults and we can schedule things.
Let's see if we stick to it.
Here's hoping. I picked it because I remembered you saying you liked it. And I feel like I feel like I have my ear to the ground in terms of like the horror community.
Ooh.
But
Does that mean you follow Bloody Disgusting on Twitter?
I do, and quite a few of the staff. But I feel like no one talks about this movie.
I remember it getting good buzz outside of horror circles. I read, I think it was last year, it was on Entertainment Weekly's best of the year. Top 10.
It played at the OKC Museum of Art.
That's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that.
I did see the Babadook there.
Ooh.
So that was an interesting scenario. Okay.
Yeah, Oklahoma City they play independent stuff at the Art Museum, and Tulsa plays it at Circle Cinema, which I highly recommend. However, it did used to be the Red Lake District porno hub.
Yeah.
So, but now it's very nice, and you can see Casey Affleck
bring your
movies.
kids.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to get into it?
I would love to get into it.
Okay. So, give us plot overview, I guess.
So the main character, who looks like a clone of Father John Misty, or Band of Horses, My Morning Jacket frontman.
Just acoustic guitars and elbow patches on blazers.
Yeah. He looks like he should be covering Iron and Wine in a coffee shop.
Yeah, that's my
Sweet Sam Bean cover.
Thank you.
But I thought the main character, Will, the actor, I thought he did a really great job.
I agree. He's one of those actors, and I IMDb'd him because I'm like, I know you son of a bitch. Like, you have been in a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I am not familiar with any of his other work. And I'm like,
very tiny.
Are you?
A lot of tiny roles.
Who is this person? And why do I know exactly who they are from, like, memory?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He was a fantastic actor, though. I liked it. Everyone in this movie was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna do Dario Naharis?
Yeah, Dario from Game of Thrones. Dario 2, isn't it?
Yeah, he replaced the blonde guy with flowing locks, but he is Danny's, like, bodyguard / lover.
/ he got sent away like a couple seasons ago, and I don't know where he is.
Me neither. Yeah, he went MIA for a while. He's a great actor. Michiel Huisman. He's from Denmark.
Huh. And then the one character actor, the bald guy who shows up.
Yes, I have his name written, John Carroll Lynch. He was Twisty the Clown.
What?
Yeah, he was Twisty. Yeah.
He has like over 100 IMDb credits. The role I most kind of think of him is his minor role in Fargo, the movie where he plays Holly Hunter. Wait, not Holly Hunter.
Frances McDormand.
Frances McDormand's husband.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's great in this movie in a I want to, like, hurt him way.
Oh, he's so awful.
Him to go away.
What? Anyway, the plot, so the premise of the movie is Will and his current girlfriend are going to Kira. They're going to a dinner party hosted by his ex-wife and
her new husband.
Yeah. And I don't know why they would ever accept that invitation.
That's my thing. Okay, this whole time, I actually took notes this time because I decided to be an adult. But I'm like, is this just how parties are once you turn 30?
I'm wondering that.
Just weird and stilted, and everyone drinks
awkward.
Too much wine, and everyone's, like, talking about whether or not they got tenure and, like, how their son died.
Yeah. The whole time, like, both times I watched this movie, all I could think of was John Mulaney's bit where he's like, the greatest rush an adult can have is canceling plans.
Second only to heroin, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh my god. That's something... So anyway, they go to this dinner party, and it just gets a little weirder and weirder by notches until violence erupts, pretty much.
Like, it's a group of old friends. Like, they're all old friends. They go back a ways. And then the Eden, the ex-wife...
Who is so weird. I hate her so much.
That's fair. I think you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Eden and her new husband have invited all these other people that they met while in a cult in Mexico.
Like, okay, I took a note. 25 minutes in, I think her name's Erin, the Asian woman, goes, they're in a cult. And I'm like, she got it. You figured it out. And everyone's like, ha ha ha, yeah, they are in a cult. That's so funny. But they really are.
Yeah.
And it's a Jim Jones situation.
It's horrible.
It's like Jim Jones for, like, 30-something white liberal yuppies in Southern California.
That's exactly what it is. It's a death cult Scientology.
Yeah, and honestly, just from what I think of, like, Southern California culture, I'm like, this could happen. These people are just, they eat a lot of kale and quinoa, and they're ready to die for anything. Like,
poison the quinoa.
Honestly, okay, so it's an interesting dinner party that just keeps getting weirder and weirder. And kind of the biggest red flag, they show a video to their friends, the Eden and Will, the ex-wife and her new husband. They're like, we spent some time in Mexico. And they talk like that, like they're kind of high on Zans. So they show a video, and it just shows a woman dying. And, like, people surrounding her and being like, oh, I can feel her spirit. Yeah. And everyone's like,
Like,
we
everyone...
just watch a woman die?
Mm-hmm. Everyone around the living room who's not in the cult just looks thoroughly clenched in awkwardness.
Yep. Just buttholes have clanged shut at that point. Like, everyone's really upset and just, like, looking at each other. But they're trying to be polite.
That's when it gets, like, really tense, because one of them... Oh, no, it's at the game. Because after the death video,
how could we come back from the death video?
Let's play... Instead of Never Have I Ever, they play I Want To.
Yeah. Which boils down to... I want to make out with Ben, or whatever. And it's just a very weird, like, sexually awkward, like, everyone's making out hardcore with each other, like, free love, crazy.
Well, the cultists really want to get down with that.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about Sadie?
Was Sadie the free love girl?
Yeah. Sadie is introduced pantsless. Which, if this was directed by a man, I would be a little concerned. But I feel like Karen Kusama, we're in good hands here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not exploitative. It just shows that she's, like,
it's very in the shadows.
Yeah. So you got full vag in the shadow, draped in shadow, but it is full vag. And she's, like, chilling in the hallway, and Will just sees her and is like, "Excuse me?"
His facial expressions for, like, while everything is still, like, building up.
Yeah.
So they
it's
do...
too much, man.
Oh, man. They do the I Want To game, and she gets in front of everyone and, like, cites off everyone's names, everyone who she just met, like, 30 minutes ago, and it's like, "I love you all." Mm-hmm. And it's just, like... This movie is, like, the biggest warning against, like, essential oil parties, in my opinion.
Oh my god, I feel like Gwyneth Paltrow has gotten the invitation. And she holds these parties, like, every week.
We are goop.
Honestly. No, I hated Sadie so much. Honestly, I felt like, replace this weird cult with, like, veganism, and we're, like, five degrees off reality.
Yeah,
you know?
it's basically any, like... I see a lot of modern consumerism, like, believing in the brand. Mm-hmm. Like, a Herbalife supplement.
Yes. Ooh, yeah.
So, it felt a lot like this movie was basically a movie version of getting an invitation from your friend you haven't talked to in 5 years who's inviting you to, like, their brand.
An Avon party.
Pretty much.
But instead of lipstick, it's murder.
Best tagline ever.
So yeah, it's just a deeply uncomfortable movie. It reminded me a lot of Creep. Mm-hmm. To which I had a question for you.
Yes.
This is, like, I've watched Creep with other people, and it kind of brought up this question, and it's kind of like how we all think we would see the signs and be like, yeah, I'm out. When people start, you know, locking doors and making out with each other and, you know, watching videos of people dying and stuff. But, like, how far would you go to be polite? You know?
Oh, my God.
Because, like, we've all had kind of... Because in Creep, it's a similar situation. This guy is hired to be a videographer for a day for this weirdo who gets more and more intense as the day goes on. And it's kind of like... When does your self-preservation overtake your need to be polite?
That's a good point. I feel like I worry that if I were in such a situation, I would just go along with it, or I would just quietly leave. Because I've done
Where
that.
did Wyeth go?
I've done that before.
I'm the master of leaving parties early. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I have a decent amount of faith in myself where I'd be like, hold up. Fuck this.
I hope that if, like, the first sign of cults, I would have been like, I have everything else to do somewhere.
Yes. I think in this movie it's complicated because there's such, like, an intense history. So basically, Eden and Will is the main guy. Yeah, David is the new husband. So Eden and Will's son died. Mm-hmm. Like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
it is not that long ago. So this is his first time coming back to the house that they shared, where the son was killed. So it's very intense. And, like, throughout the film, you have kind of... It goes into his headspace where he walks into a room and his son is there and he's watching himself interact with his son. And it's, like, really intense.
It didn't... I like that they managed to make it not feel, like, cheesy or that it... Or jolting. It didn't jolt you out of, like, the present.
I agree. And I think that was one thing that struck me about this movie, especially on second watch, that this is a grown-ass adult movie. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a movie about adults who are dealing with adult things. And, like, grief and depression and hardcore stuff. And it doesn't feel... It feels serious in a way that horror movies don't often feel super serious. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because it focuses on grown-ass people with, like, real problems.
No one makes a decision that had me like, come on.
Yeah, no one's stupid in this movie. Mm-hmm. Except maybe Gina. Because she keeps on drinking that wine.
Oh, yeah.
And she's, like, the first one to die. Also, how messed up is it that Gina, the Asian woman, is the first person to die? That's a little messed up.
She wasn't.
On screen.
On screen. Yeah, she was.
I don't know. That was a little annoying. But, yeah. I wrote, better to look paranoid than end up dead.
I feel like those are words to live by.
Yeah, it's like our version of Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered from My Favorite Murder.
Stay paranoid. Stay alive. Yeah. This one goes out to all you doomsday preppers.
Yeah. Watching this movie, I thought it's interesting because it's kind of a spiritual sibling to the Babadook.
Really?
Okay, because Babadook is very much about grief also, and losing someone, and if you ignore it, it just gets stronger, kind of thing. Where in this, I have a quote from it. The only way we can stop the hurting is to do this and to shut it out. And like they keep talking about trauma and like sadness and depression and like any bad feeling as like something you can eliminate. So I feel like the moral was kind of like trauma isn't a disease to cure. You can't outrun pain, kind of thing, which is similar to the Babadook for me, because they in the end they keep it in a closet and they feed it, but it's still there.
I think that's a good line drawn between those. I think horror does a really good job with, well, I mean, when it's well done. I would rather see a horror movie that deals with grief than a drama, because with the drama it's just there's not a hook for me.
I agree. You just get Manchester by the Sea.
Which I hear was actually kind of funny, so
What?
I heard there was some dark humor in it.
A little bit. Well, like, children die in that movie.
Jesus.
His house burns down with all of his children in it.
I haven't seen it. Okay. Dear God, I was going
Don't watch it. It's Casey Affleck. Draw a line in the sand.
Well,
boy.
I saw a ghost story recently, and we can come back to that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I have thoughts.
If y'all don't know, Casey Affleck is an alleged sexual predator. So
he's kind of a garbage man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The tone of this movie vacillates wildly for me. Just not the tone of the entire film, but like the tone of the party. Because it's like, ooh, who has some coke? We're gonna make out a little bit. This is fun.
But yeah, and then cocaine came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then John Carroll Lynch goes, I'd like to tell you about the wife I killed.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And he just goes into this full monologue about how he used to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And
he beat his wife one night and she died. Which, interesting enough, that's what happens to Sadie, because she attacks Will and he pushes her back.
That's true.
And she hits her head. She doesn't die immediately, but they think she's dead. Most of this reminded me of, you're gonna hate me because I'm gonna reference Always Sunny, But
I thought this was a sunny free zone, Lynn.
I'm eating because I'm uncomfortable.
What?
That line, I was thinking about it throughout this whole movie. I'm eating because I'm uncomfortable.
I get that. When you're at a party, you don't know what else to do. You've already looked at all the bookshelves. You just can't, you gotta eat.
You like raise your eyebrows, and like your eyes go big, and you like take a sip of wine, and you like look at your friend like, oh, is this really happening? Mm-hmm. And you're just like, yikes.
I feel like all like 20-somethings, 30-somethings have been to a party where you don't really want to go. You've somehow gone.
All your parties. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. Okay. All my parties have been great.
Okay. Yeah. But I agree. Yeah, there's always like, for someone with anxiety, this movie's a nightmare. Because I'm like, this could happen.
This is a social.
I'm also nervous around people. It would be even worse if they were trying to kill me. Okay? So we can reach nirvana and never have to feel sadness again.
I don't think that's real.
Yeah, no.
The one person who had the right idea, Claire.
Yes! I wrote Claire as the realist.
Oh, yeah? That scene is just so well done and terrifying. So Claire, she's like a college professor's, another friend of Will's, and at the point where they're doing their I want game, she's like, I'm good.
Because everyone's making out with each other and asking each other for BJs and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're adults.
Gross. And so Claire tries to leave.
She says, I'm uncomfortable with this. And I'm like, yes, girl,
the one person who
through.
has the strength to call it out.
Yep.
And so she goes and tries to leave, and Will is watching her, and then what's his face? What's his name?
Which one are we talking about?
Bald
John
guy.
Carroll Lynch?
Yeah. What's his character's name?
Pruitt.
Pruitt is like, oh, I parked behind you. Let me go move my car for you.
No.
And then they like, she backs out, and then he like hey, wait a moment. And Will can't see them because they go behind like a hedge on the outside of the house. Mm-hmm. And then she's never seen from again.
So we assume she was murdered in the driveway.
Apparently, I read somewhere that the director had actually filmed that scene.
Oh, God.
But, so the director's a she?
Karen Kusama. She directed Jennifer's Body.
Really?
Yeah. Which, can we go off on Jennifer's Body for a second?
Well, I've never seen it, so lead the way.
Okay. I was a big Diablo Cody fan in high school, like any other person my age who is a woman who saw Juno. But, so I was, like, so jazzed for Jennifer's Body, because I'm like, it's written by Diablo Cody, it's a horror movie, it's, like, gonna be really clever and funny and, like, badass. And that movie, like, I wish it was so much better than it was.
A lot of people do.
The characters are really cool, really funny. I love the concept of it, but it's just paced weird and just weirdly written, and, like, I want it to be better so much that I, like, sometimes I will myself to like it more, you know? But also, I can never fully forsake it because Adam Brody is the lead singer of an emo band, and he has a lot of eyeliner on.
Wow. And
he sacrifices Jennifer to get, like, fame. He sacrifices her to Satan, but she's not actually a virgin, so she just gets possessed. But while they are sacrificing her and killing her, they sing 8675309. Jenny, I got your number. Really, it's really funny. I love that scene so much. It kind of makes the movie worth it.
Well, as someone who found Juno vastly overrated, I never really thought about seeing Jennifer's Body.
I saw Juno a few years ago, and I was like,
has not aged well.
Neither was 500 Days of Summer. None of those, like, mid-2000s.
What?
Boy?
Oh, I think 500 Days has aged well.
I think we've all grown as people since we saw it, and now we know Tom is the villain.
I hope we all know that.
So yeah, watch Jennifer's Body for the sacrifice.
Or find it on YouTube.
Scene. The end is good too because they die. The emo band gets killed.
But anyway, going back to the invitation.
Anyway, sorry.
Apparently they filmed Claire dying, but because it broke so drastically with everything being from, like, Will's point of view, they chose not to include it.
Well, and also it's very limited to the house from when they arrive.
Yeah, it would have been a big jump outside.
Yeah. Also, like, I was thinking, this is how you make a cheap movie. You get a house, you get, like, 6 people, and you just make it uncomfortable. Like, that's some quality directing, I think, is that they can make an incredibly interesting story with, like, 6 people who just talk for 2 hours in a house.
Another cool thing they did during filming was because they wanted to give the appearance of night without actually doing night shoots, which tend to be exhausting.
Yeah.
They got a tent to put over the house to darken all the windows.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was a really neat trick.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times, like, you can tell if it's not night. They're trying to make it look like it because they just put, like, the blue wash over everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the moon has never been that bright. But, yeah, I couldn't even tell with this one. That's great.
It's shot really well for...
it's so pretty.
This is going to be a little soapbox of mine, but I feel like a lot of modern horror movies are just shot like garbage. Like,
they use darkness in an inelegant way.
Slap a blue filter over everything, and we'll call it scary.
This one is very, like, early Twin Peaks, like, vibes for me, because it's all very warm and wood-paneled, and, like, kind of pinkish orange.
Yeah, it's a warm color palette. I like it.
Which is really, it looks really sophisticated.
It looks like money.
Yeah, and it ain't, I don't think. I don't think it was an expensive movie to make, but yeah, awesome. So, I feel like I would be safe in this movie. Because I only drink Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade.
Well, let's talk about where things go off the rails. So, throughout the party...
It involves wine.
Ugh.
We don't have sophisticated palates.
Apparently not. So, throughout the party, Will is becoming increasingly paranoid, and he starts snapping at people. I mean...
Understandable.
Right. Because these cultists are, like, running the show. But they seem... Everyone else is just trying to do their best to be polite.
There's only so much, like, BS hippie garbage you can take without being like, you know, Eden, shut the hell up.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so, finally, he finds a laptop with a video from the cult leader saying something along the lines of, I will see you on the other side. And he goes back...
It's tonight. It was kind of like... an event is planned or something.
Yeah. And so Will goes back into the dining room as everyone is about to drink to a toast, and Will...
From, like, a weird decanter.
Yeah.
Like, not from a bottle. Red flag 1.
They decant.
I decant right now.
I decant even. God.
Oh, I want to die. Go ahead.
And Will loses it and smashes the glasses, and everyone's like...
You need to calm it down.
Everyone starts calling him out, even his old friends. And then, like, hippie girl attacks him, saying you ruined everything. He pushes her, she hits her head, and stumbles to the floor.
She is so scary.
And then everyone notices that Gina... Is it Gina?
Yes.
Gina is also passed out.
But she's foaming at the mouth, bro.
And that's when it's revealed that the wine has been poisoned, Tom Jones style.
Jim Jones. Tom Jones sings
Jones?
What's New Pussycat? Oh my god. Tom Jones, legendary cult leader and singer of She's a Lady.
Let's get it going 21 times.
It's not unusual in Jonestown. Salt and Pepper Diner with Jim Jones. That mistake can make so many jokes from that. That's so funny, dude.
So they go full Heaven's Gate, and so now that, well, it will ruin the plan for everyone to drink the poison wine, and so now the cultists believe they have to kill everyone.
Yeah.
So they get a gun, they get knives, and start hunting everyone down.
Side note, did they really like those people that much to be like, you know what? Let's take these on to heaven with us. Like that, there's something very flattering about like being invited to your suicide pact. Like, I want to go with you. I want you to not have pain in your life no more, Gina.
Maybe they meant something to Eden.
Yeah, that's true. She was a mess.
Oh yeah, she did not process her grief in any healthy measure.
No. That Sadie bitch. I hate her so much.
She was awful.
The scariest moment in this movie for me was, okay, Will has no supervision. He is just chilling, walking around this house. I mean, he did used to live there, but he is looking at medicine cabinets. He's looking at people's laptops. He's just like
wandering around like a sad acoustic guitarist he is.
And he like peeks into a bathroom, which is like cracked open, and Sadie is there, and she's like practicing her like death masks in the face, like her face in the mirror.
I was wondering if she was like practicing like
dying.
Real human reactions, or
I thought she was practicing dying.
That makes a lot more sense.
I don't know, but she's like crazy bug-eyed, like sticking her tongue out, like screaming with no noise, just like to herself in the mirror.
Oh yeah, and ugh,
that's scary.
And she catches Will noticing her, and Will like runs away to the pool side.
Of course,
and then
as you would.
Yeah, and she follows him and propositions him by the pool, like just several yards away from his girlfriend.
Yeah, she's like, "We can have sex right now." By this poolside, and he's like, "I don't like you.
You can hurt me."
Oh yeah, she's like, "You can hurt me," and he's like, "I don't want to hurt you. I don't know you. Get the hell away from me."
He hit the note button so hard.
Oh my God. And it's so funny because everyone's like aware of the tropes also, because when he like goes up to the gay couple and he's like, "Guys, is this gal like not freaking you the hell out?" And they're like, "She's very Mansonian even." What? It's like they know. And also they are in what is it? That's like where Sharon Tate was killed. Like in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So like in the Hollywood Hills or whatever.
Yeah, Manson territory.
Yeah, so speaking of Quentin Tarantino's next movie,
a Manson movie,
is about Sharon Tate.
I'm not really excited about that.
I'm very into the Manson murders. I think they're really interesting. I'm not like into it. I wouldn't like wear his
You're not down with that.
You
wouldn't marry him in jail like some people.
No, I don't think so. I'll watch a YouTube clip though. That's funny. But yeah. So yeah, this movie stressed me the hell out, bro.
Yeah, for people with social anxiety, or fear of interacting with people. If you get nervous, like about running into someone you haven't seen in a while when you go a place, then this movie will really hit that fear.
Oh yeah, if you've ever been in a Target and you see someone you used to hang out with from like 4 years ago, but you like don't anymore, and you like have ran to another aisle.
This is the movie version of being invited to a Facebook group message by an old friend you haven't talked to in 3 years, asking you to like their brand.
Have you done that with this podcast yet, though?
No, because I refuse to make a social media account.
Okay.
Beyond, like, I could see us making a Twitter.
I thought about making an Insta.
That would work.
But, yeah.
It would have to be something non-invasive.
Yes. But yeah, this movie stressed me the hell out. Also, Eden, in the end, she ends up taking her own life because, like, David, her new husband, is like, we have to do this. No more pain. We won't be sad anymore if we kill all these people and then kill ourselves, kind of thing. And she, like, the cracks are showing. She's like, this is wrong. I don't like this. we shouldn't be doing this, and she ends up shooting herself in the stomach.
I thought she shot herself in the womb. I thought that was kind of symbolic.
Yes, I thought that too. Like, at first I was like, you obviously haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, because you will just, like, chill in massive pain.
You do not want
hours.
A bullet there.
No, that is, if I learned anything,
not the stomach.
It's you won't die from a gut shot immediately. But yeah, I was like a motherhood thing.
She
shot herself like where her
son had been.
Yeah.
It's not a very violent movie.
But it's intense.
But the violence that happens is so intense, like the fire extinguisher scene.
Yes. People just scream in this movie, like feral screaming.
When Kira just goes to town on John Carroll Lynch with a fire extinguisher, and his scream as he's being like caved in haunts me.
It's nightmarish.
I mean, granted, he was an awful person and did awful things to the guests. But in that moment, you felt something.
I felt like I want him to stop screaming and please kill him.
That's fair.
But, what was I gonna say? Shit. This isn't good for a podcast.
It's okay. I had that the other week with the vampire movie, and so we're calling back to the vampire movie, Affliction.
Yes, it looked good.
Affliction's really good.
Oh, gosh. Oh, anyway, I'll think of it in a bit.
We can address it next week.
But yeah, it was just something about John Carroll Lynch and how creepy and weird he is. But yeah, he's a great character actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie I highly recommend.
Hopefully you will watch this before we got into all the spoilers. I mean,
can we talk about the stinger at the end?
Oh my god. Oh.
The last shot of the movie.
It's so good.
Which is so hardcore.
I would have hated myself if we had forgot that.
Yeah. Red lanterns.
So, earlier in the movie, Will sees David, the new husband, go out backyard and light this red lantern. And it's just kind of like a really kind of initially throwaway moment. And then the survivors, they gather out back at the end. They look up and they just see like the surrounding neighborhood, because they're on a hill and they have quite the view of the neighborhood.
Seas of red lanterns from Hollywood Hills.
Every house basically has a red lantern.
And you can just hear screaming and sirens in the distance.
And that was such a good ending shot.
I agree. It was so good.
Because I really like the ending, because like the main characters that you've come to like survive, but there's also this sense of like greater horror.
Yes.
Which really, I feel like a lot of horror movies kind of like wobble at the end and end with like a jump scare. Like the modern easy ending for horror is like jump scare, the villain survived.
Hand out the grave. But yeah, this one was very much like, imagine what else happened tonight at other places. It could be worse. It could have been,
Like, one of the best things that a movie can do is to make the audience believe there's a greater world going on. And just that one shot established that there's this larger event happening. Yeah. I thought that really added to the movie.
I'm so proud of Karen Kusama. She is... I think this movie made her a great horror director, because I think... obviously Jennifer's Body could have been better.
Do you think it might have been? Do you think Jennifer's Body was hampered by script expectations?
Yep, probably. This was a tight ass script, dude. Also, I remembered what I couldn't think of. It was when Kira and Will were hiding upstairs, and John Carroll Lynch is like coming up, that dome, hunting them. He looks at Kira and he says, "Hey, they're just people," which I feel like was important, because it's something that says that they're not invincible. We can survive this. They're just people, but it also is like they're just people, they're weak and they needed something to help them, and this isn't totally their fault. They are just, you know, morally failing in this way to try and fix this terrible thing that happened in their life.
Cults scare me to no end, but they also fascinate me,
I
and
agree.
that's why I found this movie so like it hit the. I'm always interested in cults. It has a very sympathetic pair of leads.
Oh yeah.
And
poor Kira, Jesus Christ.
Oof.
She like took a chance on a guy who was still grieving, and like that's my thing. Anyway, what were you gonna say? Finish your thought.
It just hit it checked a lot of boxes for me.
I think a lot when horror movies center around a previously traumatized person, I think, like, when I was watching this, I thought, Will, really, if he was in bad shape before, like, this is not gonna be fixed. This is a terrible thing to go through again, you know? Like, which is why I'm so interested in, like, the aftermath of trauma in horror movies. And the only one I think does that well is, Nightmare on Elm Street to an extent, but Scream. Because in the second one, she's still, like, shaken. In the third one, she's working as, like, a women's crisis helpline.
That's
like,
a cool character arc.
Yeah, and it makes sense. It's like, just because the movie's over doesn't mean that this person's okay, because this is, like, deeply traumatizing.
And then we always have Ripley.
Oh, God, yeah. Ooh.
Although Ripley did not deserve Aliens 3.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I don't want to, because of your description.
Oh, yeah, it's soul-crushing.
Yeah.
Like most David Fincher movies.
That's true.
So yeah, Invitation, we highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's on Netflix right now. It's short.
Yeah, it's a quick watch.
I started it at like 9, and I was like 10 minutes late for SNL. So it's like an hour 40, something like that.
So that's how you measure time around here. So the other big thing on Netflix right now...
You refreshed. I didn't have time to refresh, so I'm going to go from memory right now.
So, Castlevania.
Yes, we mentioned this last time we talked, that we were going to talk about it. Go ahead.
The first really good adaptation of a video game.
I haven't seen many, but from what I've seen, yeah. I always wanted to play the Castlevania game. I've never been a gamer. Like, I played, like, Mario and stuff. Like, I was never a hardcore gamer.
You don't have to whisper that. It's not a thing to be ashamed of.
No, it's just, yeah, that was a very casual... I'm a casual gamer, I guess. But I haven't played a game in a decade. But I always would get Game Informer, because my brother got it. So, and I was like, shit, Castlevania sounds cool as hell, bro. Like, that's about Dracula? Cool. But I, like, never, like, had... the games.
I never had the games either, but I've always seen them like they're kind of up there in the hallowed halls of like the greatest games.
Yeah, and they're like side scrollers, right?
So they're kind of like the old Metroid games.
Yeah.
Like, love like backtracking and unlocking of areas.
Totally. So yeah, I was always intrigued by the story, and I was like, oh look, Netflix has produced an anime. I guess I'll watch this, and it was good.
I was very surprised as someone who is very dubious of
anime,
of modern anime. God,
you don't like them titties though?
Not what I'm here for. And I feel like this is a really nerdy soapbox that whoever listens to this podcast
Wyeth is going off
is about to find out about me. But I feel like a lot of modern anime uses CGI practices to the detriment quality of like how everything looks. And Castlevania looks really great.
See, I didn't think it looked awesome.
Maybe I just had lowered expectations.
I don't know. I'm very like the anime I enjoyed. I don't watch it now, but I grew up with like Sailor Moon, so I'm used to very like detailed
Oh, I love, like, 80s.
Yeah, like 80s and 90s, like, hyper detailed, very fluid. And this, I don't know, it looked a little bit more flat to me.
Compared to a lot... What I'm working off is this Castlevania adaptation reminded me a lot of the Berserk series in, like, tone and style and whatnot. And the recent Berserk anime series is just trash in terms of animation quality.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like it was done in Microsoft Paint.
MS Paint making another appearance on this episode.
This is a big thing.
We're in MS Paint people now.
And so...
We live by the paint, we die by the paint.
So I'm pleasantly surprised that there being level quality to Castlevania.
I think some parts of it were, like, super interesting to look at more than others. But,
I agree.
I think that just speaks to different sequences being more visually interesting. But I like the story a lot.
So do I.
It starts off with a young girl. Well, she's not too young.
Woman.
She's a lady.
Yeah.
And she wants to become a doctor. So she tracks down Dracula's castle, which apparently is very easy to find.
It's huge in the middle of nowhere.
It's very Howl-esque, but so yeah, she knocks on his door and she's like, "I want to learn about medicine." And he's like, "Who the hell are you?"
And he's like threatening and brooding over her, and she calls him out right away, and he's like, "Damn. I want to marry this girl."
And they get married.
They get married.
Like, immediately. I don't know. But, yeah, it's really sweet, actually. Yeah. He's like, "I've lived alone in this castle for thousands of years." And she's
He's
like,
actually
"No
kind
more."
of, like, welcoming.
Yeah.
So, in the beginning, Dracula is basically a vampiric feminist version of Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
Because Dracula, his manor castle is filled with, like, gears and electricity.
It's very, like, inventor-esque.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in some made-up Eastern European country that I don't know where the hell it's supposed to be. But it's like...
Wallachia.
Yeah.
Is the name of the stand-in for, like, 1400s Germany.
Yeah. And so... This is before a lot of that. So, like, all of the peasants are very, like, anti-science, anti-electricity, anti, any kind of innovation or medical. Oh, God. Like, Dracula gets married to this gal. They love each other very much. And
like, 5 minutes into the episode, hard cut to the woman burning at the stake.
Her just being burned alive.
It was awful.
By these disgusting, terrible priests who, like, run the town.
Yeah, led by a guy doing his best Werner Herzog impression.
You know more about that than I, so I'm gonna let that lie with you.
Thank you.
But yeah, this show, it's really interesting. It is militantly anti-Christian, which I found hilarious.
I didn't find it so much, like, anti-Christian as just anti-corrupt Christians.
Anti-Catholic Church?
Or just corrupt people.
Okay,
in positions of power.
Do you ever... Sometimes, I do something... I don't know, like, I do my own thing. I drink a little bit or something. And I do something, let's say, that the Catholic Church frowns upon. And I think to myself, you can't do shit about that. You can't stop me from doing none of this. And I get, like, a thrill from it.
I feel like cool Pope Francis doesn't really care.
I mean, he has his flaws, but yeah.
He's miles ahead of what we've had.
True. I do like spiting the Catholic Church. I'm not Catholic. I don't know why I would, but I'm like, you can't do anything about it.
I think that's just your anti-establishment.
Sure. I lived in Albuquerque with a bunch of lapsed Catholics, so I kind of inherited their view on it. But yeah, it's really cool. For someone who isn't Catholic and is contemptuous of the Catholic Church in general, I think it's really cool aesthetically.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
I do love some grand cathedral spires.
Yeah, and like rosaries and like weird crucifixes and shit. I love it.
That gothic aesthetic.
Yeah, it's very vampire too. I'm like, I think you can mix vampire and Catholicism aesthetic. So, like, this show was kind of a dream for me.
I liked how everything looked. So, yeah, 5 minutes into the show, Dracula's wife, burning at the stake.
She's such a good person. Yeah. Because she was a doctor.
Because she was using science.
Yeah.
So, Dracula comes back after she convinced her husband to leave for a year on a walking tour of the region. That
was a pretty weak plot point.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
I'm just like, listen, if I had just gotten married, I'm not going to peace out and leave my wife at home.
Yeah. Also, she had kind of convinced him to, like, not hate humanity, which was obviously a tough sell for him, because he's Dracula. But he was like, maybe I'll trust my wife on this one. You know, maybe people are okay. And
give him a chance. I like his Italian accent you give him.
They promptly murdered the shit out of her.
And Dracula appears before the congregation.
He's like, all right, bitch, if you can't behave for 5 minutes.
If you don't know that all women are queens.
If she breathes, she a thought.
All women are queens!
Anakin. Sorry. If y'all don't know what thought is, look it up. I had to learn about that from
T-H-O-T.
That hoe over there. So, if she breathes, she a thought, and Dracula says all women are queens, so he curses all of Wallachia.
He gives Wallachia 1 year to evacuate.
Generous.
You can do a lot in a year.
Yep. A decent proposal, honestly.
Yeah, it's very fair. And despite having seen Dracula appear in a pillar of fire...
Oh, he was scary,
He was so scary. No one moves.
They're dumbasses.
Except for a little lady that he, like, politely said to leave.
Oh, I loved her. She was great.
And so a year later...
I'm drinking
everything...
Diet Coke, sorry.
Shit gets real.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
he's like, you didn't heed my warning, dummies.
It gets so crazy. Like, bat monster fetuses start raining from the sky.
Love it. Love that shit.
Blood is raining like a Slayer music video.
I know, it was like rain and blood, dude.
Yeah. And it's the most... And then the bat monsters grow up instantly. And it is so gory.
They're getting what they deserve, bro.
You see children, like...
ripped in half.
Yeah.
But also, like, they could have left.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't feel bad for them. Yeah.
It's... For a cartoon, it's... extremely gory.
It was hardcore. I was surprised. I didn't like some of it. It was like to the point where I was like, oh, pump brakes.
I was like, oh wow, that's pretty impressive.
It was
on the carnage on display.
There was a lot of like spinal columns.
Oh, you see all the insides of everyone.
It was gross. And that was where they didn't skimp on detail. Trevor Belmont, he can be kind of, you know, two-dimensional, but that child's intestinal tract is just glistening.
They spared no expense on the gore.
Yeah. So
yeah,
let's get some Trevor Belmont, shall we?
So the main character of the series is introduced at the very end of episode 1. And here's from episode 1, the end of episode 1 to like the middle of episode 3, like pacing is kind of an issue.
I agree. It's also, they only released like 4 episodes.
Yeah, it goes so quickly.
I watched it in an evening.
Same.
A few weeks ago. But God. Yeah, I think they're gonna release more. It's gonna be like a seasonal thing. But like every few weeks they'll release, or every few months or whatever. But yeah, it like just started getting good at the end of episode 4.
Oh yeah.
Like when it ended.
So we're introduced to Trevor Belmont, whose family has been also killed by the church and
because they were monster hunters, which is badass.
Because they used science also.
Well, and kind of magic, right?
And magic comes in, but I don't think the Belmonts were magic users.
Okay. But yeah, we're introduced to him. He's a drunkard. He's getting into bar fights, which is the best way to introduce a character.
Trevor Belmont, as played by
Sweeney.
Richard Armitage.
Yes! Oh my god. So, I love Richard Armitage. I was all over that IMDb when I was watching the show. But,
I can't believe that Dracula is played by the gunman from Preacher.
Graham McTavish?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until just now. See, back to Richard Armitage, he was... Wyeth's a mess. He's a mess. We're recording this at my desk, and he's just kicking the shit out of it for no reason. But actually, I loved him on Hannibal.
I need to finish Hannibal.
Okay.
It's not something I can quickly go through.
Yeah. Season 3, Hannibal, he plays the Tooth Fairy /
Is that Red Dragon?
Yes,
okay.
/ the Red Dragon. Everyone calls him the Tooth Fairy because he bites his victims, but he goes by the Red Dragon. So yeah, he plays like Red Dragon in the 3rd season, and it's great. He's so scary. Oh my god.
I believe that.
But yeah, it was nice to see him like fighting evil rather than committing it and eating paintings. So, you know.
I will say there were some really funny moments in these 4 episodes.
Yeah, it has a nice sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. And I think Richard Armitage does a good job with just the character.
Yeah. It has a conspicuous lack of my least favorite thing in anime, which is when they go, ugh, and, you know, just like really intense, like guttural vocal.
I wouldn't say it's
intonations.
100% anime. It reminds me a lot of an adult version of like Jackie Chan Adventures, like that kind of style.
Holy shit, dude! What the hell?
there's a blast from your past.
Yeah, I watched all of them. Okay,
yeah, they were great.
But I agree, it does look like that show. Oh my god! But yeah, there's not a lot of like Rock Lee going like, gah, you know.
There's no nosebleeds or anything like that.
Just not a lot of grunting, which I enjoyed.
There's grunting in that bar fight.
Yeah, but it's not just when I'm thinking back to like Dragon Ball Z when someone is like shocked and they're like,
oh yeah,
you know, like
you do a good anime voice.
Thank
you should look into that as a career option.
Oh my god. So yeah, that annoys the hell out of me.
There were some parts in this show that really just one thing annoyed me. There are so many fake floors.
Yeah.
Like, Trevor Belmont is forever falling.
There is a lot of, like, scaling things and, like, falling from things. Mm-hmm. Gears.
So
bridges.
It's practically steampunk. Put a gear on it.
It really is. Oh, my God. So Trevor, he goes to the city. What's the name of the city?
I don't know.
He goes to a city because we don't do our research.
A nondescript walled-in Eastern European city.
In Wallachia. Yeah, and that's kind of like where the priest lives. The bad priest.
Who has the bad Werner Herzog impression.
And he's always like drenched in red light and shit. Mm-hmm. So there's like not a cult, more like an order. Like,
kind of like roaming mystical gypsies.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so they're like, they practice magics. Mm-hmm. So Trevor like
falls in with
them
and protects them from the angry mobs who believe they're why Dracula has unleashed the hordes
of bat people, bat monsters. So yeah, it's really cool. They go on a little quest and they, slay a cyclops, and there's a girl and she's,
magical.
A magician, and it's cute. But it really starts getting good when they find Alucard, okay?
You mean vampire David Bowie?
Ooh, yeah. He was very Lestat. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice that when Trevor used his whip on his first time, he opened a wound like right where the belly button was?
Ew, that wouldn't heal very well.
The first time I saw that, I'm like, is his belly button just permanently like exposing his insides?
That's gross, dude.
And then I realized that was from the bullwhip.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, the show ends with like a rad
we're uniting.
Fight. Well, it starts with a fight because Trevor is like, "You're a vampire." They find Dracula's son, who
they really could have talked that out.
I agree. It was clumsily introduced.
It was a cool fight, but they could have just talked like adults.
Oh, I thought you meant the plot point of him being Dracula's son could have been talked out more, which I agree.
I have questions about that.
Yeah.
He looks like he's probably like, what, 300 years old? Or like...
He looks about 20.
He does. But you know how vampires are.
I know. I thought Dracula and the blonde woman who gets burned to the stake, I thought they were married for quite a while. And they produced a son who is just a vampire, and he's like a grown son.
I don't remember the time jump.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it was clumsily introduced.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that supposed to be her son with Dracula? So is he half human? Is he half good? But he does talk about his mother and how, like, Dracula's getting revenge for his mother.
I wish the first episode had just focused on Dracula and spent more time with him and his wife.
I agree.
And just bring in Trevor on the second episode.
Me too. Alucard's badass, though. He's chill.
I like him.
He's been slumbering beneath the city.
Because he tried to stop Dracula from unleashing the demon army. And Dracula tried to kill him, and so he went into, like, recovery.
And he's like, Dad!
Father.
Why would you do that, Dad?
I have the high ground.
Jesus. So now, Trevor, Magical Lady, and Alucard. Cypher, yes. Oh, God, I'm not passing the Bechdel test today. I'm sorry. And Alucard, like, team up, and they finally do, like, their Pokemon team up at the end, like Misty.
It's a real Brock Ash Misty team.
And then the show ends for a while.
I was so shocked because I did not know it was 4 episodes, each one, like, 30 minutes, and
it's short as hell, bro.
It just ended on them, like, joining forces.
Yeah, and so I'm ready for season 2. I think I'm gonna like season 2 better. Not that I didn't like the first season. It was well done. I'm ready for team up action.
It didn't even feel like a season. I feel like it's like part 1 of season 1.
I think it is, yeah.
But they're supposed to be coming out with 8 episodes sometime later this year.
Sweet. Well, cool. I'll do those in 2 nights or a weekend or whatever. Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Not for the squeamish.
Very gory fun.
Yeah. It's very silly, very stupid. I like that.
Very over the top.
So, long story short, we like Castlevania too. This is a day that we liked 2 things with each other.
That's crazy. So, next week, I believe, is your pick.
It is. I'm not sure yet because we had to adjust the
I
schedule.
believe it's Nightmare 2.
Nightmare 2. Okay, cool. I'm down with that. I did pick that. So that'll be fun. Do you have any personal picks?
I do, but I think first we need to do like an in memoriam.
Oh shit, we do. Oh my god, R.I.P. George Romero.
Like that hit me so hard because like I grew up in high school watching all his Dead movies.
Yeah.
And it was so sad, just suddenly gone.
I mean, I feel like the old guard is passing on quickly, kind of, which I hate.
You had Wes Craven.
Oh God, Wes.
Who's your favorite?
Yeah, Wes was very important to me. I'm, thinking of a memorial tattoo.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's so important to me. Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream, just fantastic. And I feel like him and Romero were such maybe not compatriots in that they,
like
work together.
Contemporaries.
Yeah, contemporaries. That's the word I meant to say.
And they were always kind of a trio with John Carpenter for me.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like...
Protect him.
Protect John Carpenter.
Do we know where he is? Where is he?
He's on tour.
I know he's on tour. Because my favorite my favorite podcast is going to see him. Do his scores live.
That'd be a lot of fun.
He's still working his ass off. He has shit in the works. He's producing the new Halloween with Danny McBride.
Oh, I forgot. I keep forgetting that's the thing.
Is it coming out this fall?
I'm not sure.
I think it might be. And he's doing like I think it's a Tales of Halloween series. So yeah, I love George Romero. I think he doesn't get enough credit for being extremely socially conscious
absolutely.
in everything he did.
Like, Night of the Living Dead still shocks me.
Yeah.
Been watching it for like a decade.
Absolutely. And it was so ahead of times on race relations. Dawn of the Dead was so ahead of times on consumerism and capitalism.
And also, like, I mean, aside from the first one even had strong female characters.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
the
Barbara could have been more proactive.
Barbara was
They're coming to get you.
Zombie fodder.
Yeah. But Dawn had a great female character.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is a masterpiece, I think. I love Dawn of the Dead. It's so, like, strongly felt, I guess. Like, it's so... You care about the people. You live with them. You see them survive, and you see them try to have a normal life.
I watched it in, like, 6th, 7th grade, and I just had such, like, not then, but, like, in high school. Mm-hmm. Like, I had such a visceral reaction to it that I was just, like, shocked for days.
Yeah. Ken Foree, also.
Yeah, he was so good in that.
I love him to death. Side note, I went home to my parents' house where they have cable. I don't have cable. And I watched Kenan and Kel, and Ken Foree is Kenan's dad.
Really?
Which was shocking to me. But, yeah. Day of the Dead, critical to military-industrial complex.
Cold War.
Yeah.
I really liked Land of the Dead and Diary of the Dead.
I enjoyed Diary of the Dead. I thought that was
people
interesting.
talk about that one.
Yeah. That was his foray into, like, found footage.
Mm-hmm. I think it did a good job of, like, kind of, especially capturing, like, the Vine world, or, like, the instant gratification of being recognized before it was really a thing.
He's been a tastemaker for a long time. Also, Martin isn't my favorite movie of his, but I think it's an incredibly interesting, weird, cool movie. I
always wanted to see his The Crazies, because I saw the remake, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, I love Timothy Olyphant. Braylon Gibbons. Love it. So, yeah, R.I.P. George Romero.
Pour one out for George Romero.
Pittsburgh lost a favorite son.
Horror lost a favorite son.
Absolutely. I love him to death. He was just a good guy.
He was a really sweet guy.
So, yeah, treasure your heroes before they all go away. We just have John left, kind of.
I think there's a new guard coming.
I agree. Who else do you think would be their contemporaries? Who's still around, you know? The big ones. Stephen King? Kind of.
Well, yeah.
He's not a director, but I think he defined horror for decades.
I mean, love him or hate him, I think... Well, I see kind of like... If we want to get into the new guard, there's Eli Roth.
I know.
I'm not a fan of Eli Roth, but I will say...
I hate Eli Roth.
I will agree, but he's also, like, a big horror name.
He's the big name right now. I think, I am 100% behind Mike Flanagan, whatever he does.
Mike Flanagan.
I am... You're going to give me guff about this, but he did Hush, he did Oculus.
I liked Oculus.
He's cranking out movies, 2 or 3 a year, and they are...
James Wan.
Yes. I like James Wan. I think he can dive into... I'm going to slap my name as a producer on this, and then kind of cash in for these, you know, Annabelle 3 or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Gotta make that money. Yeah. No shame in that. Ty West is one of my favorite of the new guard.
I recently saw his In the Valley of Violence, which is his version of a Western. Not my fave. Not my fave.
I've heard it's off kilter.
It is. I think he should probably stick to horror because he does it really well.
I do like Ethan Hawke, though.
I agree. I like him, too. He's good in horror. Who else? Adam Wingard.
I like Adam.
I love Adam Wingard so much. I'm interested to see what he does with Death Note on Netflix, because I definitely have listened to the complaints of whitewashing, and it's concerning to me. I loved his Blair Witch. I loved The Guest.
I'm so excited for his Godzilla.
You're next. Oh yeah, he's making that.
Which is, so I'm watching him very closely for my special boy, Godzilla.
I follow him on Tumblr. And it's, like, shocking how much porn he reblogs. It's, like, mostly porn. So I feel like he might be a skeeve. But, like...
That's uncomfortable.
I like his movies. We should do The Guest in October.
I would like to do that.
I love The Guest.
Some other members of the New Guard. The guy who did Green Room. I would label...
What the hell is his name?
I would label...
Hold on, I'm gonna get the DVD.
I would label him Green Room as horror.
I agree.
There's nothing more horrific than Nazis, let's be honest.
Oh my god, and it's real now.
And then also, the guy who did Mulberry's... Jeremy Saulner?
Yes.
Mike Daughtry? Trick or Treat? Krampus? Doherty?
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's an exciting crop of New Guard.
I agree. I think horror
has never died. Like,
people say it's dead every few years, but they really just ain't paying
they're
attention.
the same kind of people who say, like, rock is dead.
But that's true. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, okay. So, do you have any recommendations?
Ooh, I do. Personal picks.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have 2?
You can have as many as you want.
Well, we'll never stop this episode. No, I'm kidding. So first off, can I just give a shout out to, like, the podcast that inspired me to ask you if you wanted to talk about horror movies?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, there's a horror podcast that I'm obsessed with, and I listen to it while I go on my walk runs. And they're great, 3 dudes. It's called Forever Midnight. They record often.
Mm-hmm.
They're really great. They go to all the cons, and they talk about horror movies. That's basically it. I feel like horror podcasts can get very douche bro-y,
Yeah.
So these guys, they can get kind of immature, obnoxious, but most of the time they, like, know what they're talking about, and they're fun to listen to.
That's good.
They recently talked about Sometimes They Come Back, which I just caught on my local B-movie channel today, and it was good. So, like, they have good recommendations. Huh. Yeah. 3 just chill guys who really love horror. So listen to Forever Midnight. It is basically our dad. Like, it spawned us. Wyeth didn't know that.
No,
but
I did not.
I did.
So your recommendations are...
Forever Midnight.
And Sometimes They Come Back?
No, Midnight, Texas.
Midnight in Texas?
Midnight, Texas.
Oh.
It's a new show. It's on NBC. It came on last Monday.
Was it their follow-up to Grimm, which ran forever, surprisingly?
My mom loved Grimm. I would go home and she'd watch it all the time. But
Your mom is a delight.
Yeah, it's kind of their new, like, supernatural series. It's based on a series of novels by Charlaine Harris, who did True Blood. So it's campy, silly, fun, stupidity. Also,
R.I.P. to the True Blood actor.
Oh, Nelson Ellis.
Yeah.
He was great. I love True Blood. But this is much less boning, much less geysers of blood because it's on NBC.
Oof, yeah.
But it's about a psychic dude who moves to this small town in Texas called Midnight. And there's a Wiccan, and there's a weird pastor who runs a pet cemetery, and it's very, like, small town where everyone's something weird,
hiding something. Okay.
And yeah, it's just fun. It's stupid and fun, and the ghost effects are really cool. He sees ghosts, so they're trying to solve a murder right now. Okay. There's an angel who works at a tattoo parlor who is in a relationship with a Hispanic dude. So, like, gay angel representation, I guess. No, it's really stupid and fun, and it's good summer TV.
Huh.
So yeah, your personal pick. I'm sorry, I dominated it.
I also have 2. There's this show on Amazon Prime called Fortitude, and it starts off as like
even heard of that.
A murder mystery in this small town, like, north of the Arctic Circle. And
why would anyone live there?
It's a mining community.
Ew, okay.
And so basically I just really love horror set in, like, frozen wastelands, apparently.
I guess, dude.
And so, like, people in this town start going crazy. Like, they find a person ripped open.
Gross.
And, like, eviscerated, and this show spares no expense on, like, autopsy scenes.
Ew. Wait, but it's like Amazon, so it can go hard, right?
Oh, it goes so hard. There's full male, full female nudity. Like,
Bro!
second episode.
Like, it's about equality.
Yeah. We did it! Equality!
Just that Ariana Grande gift.
But anyway, like, things just, like, keep escalating, and eventually they bring in Stanley Tucci.
Yes!
Who is always a delight.
The dad from Easy A.
Who told you were adopted?
Everyone's a little bit gay.
Oh, he's so good. And he's so good in Fortitude. And eventually, I don't want to spoil it, but there is some... It's really gory. It's really scientifically grounded, though. And I really like that. And there's some... Like, the horror just ramps up.
Ooh.
I just started season 2, which...
I've never heard of this. How long has this been on?
It was like a European show. And then it was canceled, but then Amazon bought it.
Damn, okay.
And so season 2 just came on. Dennis Quaid is... I love Dennis Quaid.
Me too.
He really... You know what? Not enough people appreciate Dennis Quaid.
I agree.
He's a great everyman.
His Great Balls of Fire Jerry Lee Lewis performance was very important to my household. So, yeah.
Anyway, so...
London can kiss my ass.
So the first season features, like, centers around, like, a nature horror theme.
Ew.
And so far the second season is a supernatural serial killer.
Ooh, I like that.
So
that sounds really cool.
I really recommend it.
Hell yeah.
My second recommendation is barely horror, but a ghost story.
Yes, I saw you went to see that.
Despite the presence of Casey Affleck, he is under a sheet 95% of the movie.
Thank God.
But it features a ghost as the main character, and there's some very stressful moments, but I would put it closer to, like, if I was putting it closer to any horror I can think of, maybe like The Others. Kind of like, it's more ethereal. Not even psychological, just ethereal. Like, basically the premise is Casey Affleck's character has died, and he's now like a Charlie Brown ghost with a sheet over his head and 2 black eyes.
Yeah. And
he just is, like, trapped in this location where his house used to be or is, and because he goes throughout time. Like, he just pops up in random moments in time. And so it's a kind of like Tree of Life in that sense.
Yes.
So
I love Tree of Life.
So do I.
Sorry, haters. Haters back off.
I love me some Terrence Malick. But it's very sad. It's also very uncomfortable in terms of how they filmed it.
Yeah.
But in a good way. The camera lingers and lingers. Like, it's probably been spoiled by now for a lot of people, but there's a scene where Rooney Mara grief eats basically a whole pie.
That was the first time she ever ate a pie.
Yeah, that's wild.
Is that what it's like being rich? You just don't eat pie?
Apparently.
Like, that's just a thing you don't do.
The pie is the dessert of the common people.
It is. Yeah, that sounded super uncomfortable. I'm, like, kind of mad that you didn't tell me you were going to see this, because I really want to see it.
It was just randomly in small town Missouri, in Columbia, Missouri.
I thought you came back to OKC and saw it. So.
Oh no, we were trying to see it in Chicago, but our dates filled up, and then we got back to Columbia, and it was playing at the university theater.
Oh, I see. Well, it looks beautiful.
It's well shot.
Like, the commercial makes me ugly cry a little bit.
Well, the movie will also.
Oh, God.
There's, like, every shot looks like it was filmed through a Polaroid.
Love it.
Like, it's a very vintage hue to everything.
I can't wait to see it. Fuck Casey Affleck.
Yeah.
He just keeps dragging me back in.
But yeah, I thoroughly recommend, if you have the patience, because it is slow.
Is it long?
No.
Just slow?
Slow, but long. Not long.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, a ghost story.
Hell yeah.
So A24 is the production company to watch.
I love A24. That's the hill I'd die on.
I'm right there with you.
They make some iconic stuff. Disaster Artist coming this December.
So excited.
Yep. We can do an episode on The Room. Come on, that's a horror movie.
A special episode because James Franco does
horrifying.
surprisingly good. Tommy Wiseau.
Oh God. I did not hit her. I did not. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. Hi, Mark.
Oh, hi,
Bye, Mark. Oh my god, bye, Mark. That's like dark version.
You did a true Tommy Wiseau right there.
Oh no. Oh god. So yeah.
Well, that's all we have this week. Thanks for tuning in as always.
Yeah, we're back. It's gonna be semi-regular now, and we're on iTunes. So get us for free right onto your device, bro. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.
He behaved like a man demented, obsessed, utterly lost.